Now, Adam, you have a top 5 projected list of guys you think are going to score the most tonight on DraftKings. Can you take us through that?
Yeah, so this isn't the most points per dollar or anything like that. This is just who I think will score the most raw points tonight. So checking in number 5 is Rajon Rondo. And I know that Chris Paul isn't necessarily the best matchup, but Rajon Rondo in a really high pace game, in a game I expect to be close. I think he pushes for a triple-double once again in this spot. Number 4, LeBron James. Had one dud earlier this week, but I think bounces back really well against the Raptors team. That's one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. And anytime we can get 4 quarters out of LeBron James, we have to be excited about that. Number 3 is John Wall, point guards against the Sixers. It's really as simple as that. Also, Wizards coming off of a loss. I think John Wall will be extremely focused tonight and really go ham on the Sixers in a game I'll be at, actually. Number 2, Chris Paul in that same game. I mean, almost a perfect spot for the Clippers tonight. Kings lead the entire league in pace, among the worst in the league in defensive efficiency, and Rajon Rondo gets a lot of steals, is not the best defender. So Chris Paul, number 2. Then number 1 in that same game, obviously the Boogie Monster. Like to use him at home, playing well lately, even though he looks like he might be a little bit out of shape. He's just a Mack truck. 20 rebound ceiling, 50 point ceiling anytime he plays. So DeMarcus Cousins, most raw points tonight.
Now, Andrew, we're going to start with John Wall here for your takes. What do you make of the Levitan attendance narrative? How much does that play into your wanting to play John Wall?
Well, if I'm Adam, I'm for sure stacking that game because I think that's something you always got to do when you're going to a game. Make sure you throw a lineup in a $1 game that has a bunch of players from that contest. It's a lot of fun.
So, but breaking this down, we talked about it previously to recording. Rajon Rondo and Adam mentioned it, Andrew, about facing Chris Paul. How much should we take that into consideration here on the defensive matchup for Rajon Rondo?
It is a concern for me. Chris Paul's defense hasn't been as good this year, but it's still Chris Paul, so he can slow down anyone. I think it's possible tonight, but really the game environment there probably trumps those concerns. You notice that Adam had 3 players from that game in his top 5. I think that makes a lot of sense.
How about LeBron? We talked enough about regular season LeBron compared to postseason LeBron and how he can turn it on. Have you seen that second gear from him of late? And do you think he is a top 5 scorer tonight?
Well, my problem with the Cavaliers lately is that it seems like on any given night, 2 of the big 3 are having big outputs and somebody's left on the outside. So I've had a tough time figuring out which guy is going to be on any night. But tonight we've got a game that should be really competitive. It's a game that's important. They're going to want to beat the Raptors, who are really considered the second best team in the East. So I think it's working in LeBron's favor to be the guy who is the highest scoring player on the Cavs tonight.
Finally, Andrew, anybody you'd stick into this top 5? If you were constructing your own, is there somebody that immediately comes to the top of your head that you may slide in here instead of one of the guys you see before us?
Yeah, I mean, we hit on in the guard section. That's Kyle Lowry. He's in that game against LeBron James. And I think the best way to attack the Cavs is with the point guard position. And Lowry's just been playing so well lately that I think he really shows up tonight.
Adam, Andrew, great stuff as always. Don't forget, head on over to the DK Playbook, all the content you need to understand tonight's slate and start building your lineups over on DraftKings.com. Best of luck, and we'll see you back here on DK TV.